part 2 of my podcast. Mwah! Right, so we are going to be continuing on with 7.3. Let us just first of all make sure that we're broadcasting. I just need to link this to Friendies. There we are. Part 2. Right. Let's proceed, my little Napsalotl. Hopefully you can all hear me okay. Galax hasn't bothered to show his face yet, I see. Maybe he hasn't noticed us. Or maybe he's just watching and waiting. What else do they have in this place? If I read that map right, it must be a lot smaller than the UUA facility. The scanner awaits. Hold the security card up to the panel and it should unlock the door. It seems not everyone who joined preservation became endless right away. There must have been research that required physical bodies. If there were others besides my parents who left preservation, where might they be now? Right, I guess we do this. Looks like a sort of maintenance area? And a recreation area, maybe? A scanning device. It waits silently for a security card with the appropriate level of clearance. A card-shaped key for opening restricted doors. This one is marked with a level 2 security clearance. Boop. Yes, it opened! So, where should we go first? The Dawntrail lab or facilities? Let's start with the lab. Ooh, this looks fun. I wonder if there's some way to move these around when we get here. What is it, Gulja? Shouldn't the security card open this door as easily as the last one? How strange, this door is not lit up like the others. What does the sign say? Shell, there doesn't seem to be any power here. No, none at all. It's possible the energy supply for this room is on a separate conduit. which means there should be a contingency for opening the door. Look here, there's a sign above the card scanner. In case of emergency, backup power can be rerouted from facilities. The facilities room is down the other branch of this corridor. Let's see about getting the power restored to the Dawntrail lab, shall we? Oh good, the terminal is lit up. That means we have power in this room. The Dawntrail lab must have required greater amounts of energy to operate. What kind of experiments were they conducting in there? Those are some big flashy floor tiles. I wonder what they're for. So this room was for managing the power supply and utilities? I hope they kept security cards in here as well. Engaging power supply. No good. It's returning an error. There must be a preliminary procedure. According to this error code reference, if the power supply has been interrupted for an extended period of time, then we need to reconfigure both the emergency generator and the circuit control panels. Shell, that's the emergency generator over there, isn't it? Yes, and by the looks of it, it's the same model as the one used in Heritage Round. But how does it send power to the other lab? Ah, I see. The energy cable attached to the base of this terminal leads down the hall, directly to the Dawntrail lab. Which means we need a way to connect the generator to that cable. What about these patterns on the floor? Could this be the circuit we need to reconfigure? I believe you have the right of it. Using the control panel set into each of the tiles, we create an unbroken path for the power to flow. What I wouldn't give for an instruction manual. Indeed, if you could look around for any written procedures, I'll keep digging through the terminal's directories. Might I also ask someone to operate the generator? I can do it. I've used that type of machine before. Then would you be willing to try and reconfigure the circuit path, Elita? The rest of us can help by supplying Elita with whatever information might be found on the circuitry configuration. I've locked in the power supply route and adjusted the current for optimal flow. Everything should be ready for when you've reconfigured the circuit. I was able to glimpse part of a warning sign behind the containers. From what I can make out, it said, "Caution, circuit will not function with duplicate patterns." I suppose that means only one of each circuitry pattern can be set at the same time? The generator doesn't seem to need any fancy settings. As long as it's running and the circuit is fixed, we should have a power supply ready to go. Elita, take a look at this diagram. There's a note at the bottom left about backup power. Reconfigure the 4 circuit control panels to provide an uninterrupted path. These symbols must represent the room we're in. If that square in the top left is Shield's terminal, then the bottom right should be the generator that Gululja is working on. It's hard to make out the rest. Assuming these are 4 tile patterns, the bottom right is a square and the top right is half a circle? That's something to get you started at least. These appear to be data logs from a former age. My scholarly interest is piqued by a few of these labels, but none are relevant to the task at hand. I've also had no luck locating more security cards. We shall have to rely upon our backup power strategy, I'm afraid. You have connected all the circuits. Inform your comrades of the successful reconfiguration. It worked! We did it, Elita. The Dawntrail lab should now be fully powered. Well done, everyone. If I may, Shiel, could we access a certain data log before moving on? I was checking the storage shelves, and one of the labels caught my eye. Preservation, the Early Days is the title. Of course. It'll only take a moment to bring up the contents. Ah, it looks like a text-based account. I'll read it out. Preservation, an Alexandrian Institute for Technological Development, was founded by Calix, an 11-year-old child prodigy. Approval for establishing the organization came during Alexandria's involvement in the storm surge, with Calix's designs for new defensive solutions funded in large part by the Treasury. As the conflict grew in intensity and casualties mounted, Calix funneled Preservation's resources towards the perfection of memory storage. Research into this field continued even after the storm surge came to an end, with Calix eventually electing to preserve his own memories in a virtual domain. So if this account is before he embraced his endless existence, hundreds of years ago. I met him only once before the storm surge began. I was attending my father, who was then the reigning king of Alexandria. Calix could not have been more than 10 years of age, and required constant treatment for his debilitating illness. Yet he still published theories so highly regarded that even the royal family was aware of his achievements. Life should not be lost to the injustice of death. Even now I can hear the single-minded will behind his words. So it was when the war came to our kingdom. My father was quick to commit his unwavering support to the sombre youth and his proposals for preservation. Several years later, the ensuing violence brought the death of both my parents. Overwhelmed as I was by my sudden succession to the throne, I suspect they spared me the reports on endless research and other less urgent matters. So you had no way of knowing what kind of person Calyx was changing into? Did he change? I wonder. Perhaps he has ever been the type to value ideals over compassion, and I failed to see it at the time. Or perhaps he did change, but is still driven by those same deeply held beliefs, that mortality is cruel and unjust, and his role is to deliver mankind from this fate. Whatever the case may be, we cannot allow him to shape our future. Let's press on, shall we? If I've done my job correctly, the door to the Draconia lab should be accessible now. I'll give everything a once-over just to be sure. Come to think of it, it was simplistic. There is only one that would connect to there, and only one that would connect to there. This one would have to be top right, that one would have to be bottom left. So it would have been very easy to work out without the hints. Had his own body not been fated to fail him so young, would Calyx have pursued his endless project with such fervour? Yes, the door has power now. Everything we read in this place sings Calyx's praises. The people who worked here must have truly idolized him. That Alexandria survived the war was no small part thanks to the defensive measures developed by preservation. In that regard, I shall always be grateful. The energy current seems stable enough. Still, you should let me handle this one. The security card, if you please. Oh, and a quick prayer that a shorter wire doesn't burn me from the inside out. You know, I'm probably the best person to do it because I've sustained injuries from goodness knows what. Calculated evolution. Shale is examining this card scanner. Right, I'll get this door open. Phew, smooth as silk. Let's head inside and see what awaits. Ba 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 ba. Gods above, isn't that... the key to interdimensional fusion? That looks to be a schematic on the monitor. They've used it to make another key, but isn't it missing the shard inside like the one Elita has? Ah, we may have been labouring under a misconception. key was originally a Milala relic. Once this treasure came into its possession, preservation began working to harness the power to cross dimensions. Aside from the crystal, we can see that all the vessel's components were constructed here. So what might that tell us? The crystal itself is the key. That would be the logical conclusion, yes. It is as my parents explained. The key remains shrouded in mystery. Preservation augmented it with electrope, but never grasped the technology's underlying principles. To this day, not a single person understands the mechanics of interdimensional fusion. Not who imbued the key with its power, not when they did so, nor why. Now it makes sense. Galax can track the key because of its vessel was made by preservation. I believe there is much we may learn in this room. On our next visit, I will have to enlist Justola's assistance for a thorough investigation. I too am curious about a great many things, but pinning down Galax's whereabouts is our priority. Hopefully there's a security card here that grants access to the director's office. The research conducted in this lab appears to have been highly confidential in nature. Some of the personnel must have belonged in the organization's upper echelons, and that means higher security clearance. We should spread out and look for any cards they've left behind. Remember, anything less than a level 3 is no good to us. I keep holding out hope that I'll find evidence of my parents here, despite knowing there is none. Maybe someone left a card on a shelf somewhere. I'll search through these drawers. One of us is bound to find something, I'm sure of it. Why were they making so many vessels? Did the other ones not work properly? If those cameras are anything to go by, this lab was under constant surveillance. I'll scan the recordings and try to spot where people left their security cards. Maybe we'll get lucky. A Sloan storage crate is filled with document binders and other miscellaneous objects, none of which are security cards. A sturdy shelving unit holds a crate and sealed barrels. No sign of any security cards. You find a security card in the cabinet drawer. Oh, did you just find a security card? Oh, that's a stroke of luck. Let's have Shale examine it to be sure. Well, if it isn't exactly what we needed. Nice work, Elita. Oh, level 3! That should get us into the director's office. So what was it you were hoping to find in there again, Shale? You were saying that a certain device was going to help us. Right, I haven't properly explained myself, have I? I'm looking for a data relay. After we discovered this ostensibly abandoned complex, I performed a cursory investigation which detected a connection to an outside network. When I traced the data's routing, I confirmed traffic from a web of Everkeep's security cameras. Considering the way Calyx is always one step ahead of us, we must assume he's quietly seized control of the city's surveillance system and has been using it to monitor our activities. To monitor what you, as a key holder, are planning. But since Calyx is the ultimate recipient of those transmissions, the flow of data is like a river that we can follow back to him. Which is why I need the data relay. If I can analyze the device and see where it's routing all the surveillance traffic, then you can pinpoint Calyx's position. That said, he has done nothing to impede our progress, which makes me think I might be on the entirely wrong track. Maybe the reason he isn't stopping us is because he can't. Back in the old castle, Calyx says he was measuring Elita's strength. What can he possibly dream up that's stronger than her? Oh, speaking of cameras, there was another thing I meant to mention. I found evidence that someone deliberately disabled the surveillance feed in this room. The most recent recording was also crudely deleted. I was able to restore the data though, if you'd like to see it. I'll start the show then. Yep.
Are you really planning to leave?
Yes. The idea of eternal life, it's begun to frighten me. I struggle to renounce our conventional wisdom. Death is the means by which life prunes its branches, leaving the trunk to grow strong and tall. We die so that our species may flourish. What would become of mankind were we to halt that process? If unending stagnation is the fruit of our labor, then perhaps we strive for the wrong thing.
Your argument is a rejection of Master Calyx's vision.
I do have next to no vision with that here.
I suppose it is. Perhaps such dread would not plague me, were I capable of sharing his perspective on the subject. But I cannot. He and I are too different, in too many ways. I lack his extraordinary genius. I had no illness threatening to cut my life short, no singularity of will to cut away all distractions and focus solely upon research. I have nothing but respect for his determination. The way he overcame his prognosis and seized the means to transcend death itself. But I'm not convinced that this obsession with living is the right path. That's why I've decided to leave preservation and put all my effort towards building a legacy for the next generation to come. Surely you...
Protocol, you understand. There can be no exceptions.
She only wanted to leave, and he executed her. I checked the images against the personnel data, and the man who pulled the trigger was Director Demetrius himself. Everything I could find on him pointed to a deep infatuation with Master Calyx. The cameras in this room have been out of operation ever since that incident. Given that the recording was erased, I can only assume he was trying to conceal his grisly deed from the other researchers. I am not surprised, given how many parents described their defection from the Institute. They spoke of rushing me through a portal, even as Preservation's agents closed in on them. I dared not ask what became of them after that, but if it turns out they were captured by their pursuers... I'm sure they managed to escape. I want to believe that they did, and even if they didn't, I hope at least enjoyed what time they had as endless. Oh, Cryle. Worry not, Theme. Thanks to the Haven of Living Memory, I was at least able to meet my parents and learn what they stood for. It is enough for me to carry on. Even now, we don't know how the conflict unfolded between your parents and Preservation. But what we do know is that your mother and father cleverly expunged every last trace of their movements. They made sure no one could cross on into the source or threaten their child's safety. Right, let's press on, shall we? This tale behind the key deserves a fitting conclusion. To the Director's office. Was Calyx the one who gave the orders to execute defectors? The more we learn about him, the less I understand. I don't expect to find any information on my parents in this next room either, and that's something I can be proud of. My early investigations put the data relay just past this door. Let's get it open, shall we? Hearing Cryle talk about their parents reminded me of how much I miss Namika. I guess I never really got over it. If the man in that recording was Director Demetrius, then this must be his office. A scanning device. It waits silently for a security card with the appropriate level of clearance. A card-shaped key for opening restricted doors. This one is marked with a level 3 security clearance. You hold the level 3 security card up to the scanner. There we go. Let's head inside. Now to find that data relay. And don't be shy, everyone. Speak up if anything odd catches your eye. Elita, come with me. I might have need of that security card. This is a report on reducing people to ether and how much energy can be harnessed per individual. Oh, my apologies. I was thinking about the key. Something odd. Something odd. This Director Demetrius was very particular about how he decorated his office. We got incense and vases, and some kind of gem display. Seems to be missing one. An emerald? Damn, this terminal isn't connected to any outside networks, so it can't be the data relay I'm looking for. This office is also smaller than the map suggested. I'm positive we're in the right room. What am I missing? Sorry, Elita. Could I ask you and the others to search the office for any clues to this infuriating puzzle? Let me know if you find anything. I'll double and triple check my work for mistakes. These drawers have only big heavy books in them. I would have filled them with snacks. Oh, but maybe the books are hiding something. I'll check. Something is strange about this wall. I could have sworn it flickered for a moment there. It seems solid enough now. Jill says this room is too small. How could that be? Does this display do anything else? Having lain dormant for years, the now active coffee maker has already entered a self-cleaning cycle. It appears to have no other purpose beyond brewing coffee, though it remains to be seen when it will be able to do so once more. Amongst other personal effects, we find what is presumably the director's data tablet. A closed locker stands next to the table. Pick up the data tablet and begin skimming through the contents. Nothing of note. The mystery of the key's activation condition remains unsolved. The key triggered an explosion today. Temporary interdimensional portal verified. Continue attempts to stabilize the core's energy reactions. 13 researchers sustained fatal injuries in the explosion. Memory faculties of 4 personnel sufficiently intact for endless conservation. Remaining 9 designated for ether reclamation processing. Nothing of note. Rejected resignations of 2 Malala researchers. Major incident. Details in full report. Those 2 inept Malala broke with preservation and absconded with the key. Though the fugitives have been caught and eliminated, we were too late to recover the relic. The only reason we retained our flesh was to serve Master Calyx as physical instruments to conduct his experiments. Deprived of the object of our research, our existence serves no further purpose. I dare not imagine the depths of his disappointment in me. The complex is to be shut down. All personnel will have their bodies reduced to ether, which will be allocated for further experimentation. Memory data will be archived. Any endless conversations will be subject to Master Calyx's discretion. If he does not deem us fit, then we are not deserving of eternal life. All personnel have undergone processing. Once the shutdown protocols have been completed, I will proceed with my own corporeal dissolution. As long as the key remains in the physical world, we must keep this complex in pristine condition. Whether it be needed for experiments or otherwise, it must be ready to support future operations in whatever capacity Master Calyx requires. To that end, facility equipment will be maintained in stasis mode. Furthermore, a critical component for secure room access will be stored separately to defend against unauthorized entry. Damn, I never got to see the best. The collection of soul cells may have once belonged to the director. They appear to be empty. I never got to read the other part. You find a crumpled note wedged between the file binders. Secure room lift access. Requires passwords to be input simultaneously at terminals in the Proto Lab, the Jutoro Lab, and the Director's office. Perhaps this discovery would be of interest to Shale. Ah, you've located the Vector Demetrius's personal data tablet in Lockspace. Take another look. The door to the locker swings open easily. It contained nothing of note. You quietly shut the locker door. Have you found something? A hastily scribbled reminder found in the director's office shelving. Thank you. A misplaced note, was it? With instructions for accessing a secure room, no less. Seems we need to enter a password on 3 different terminals at the same time. There was no such room marked on the map, was there? No, a precautionary measure, no doubt. And if passwords are involved, I expect the access lift itself is concealed too. Concealed by electrope, you mean? Ah, could it be that wall? I thought it seemed odd when I walked past. Remember what Kafka used to say, Shale? Never trust an electrope surface. Pass right through electrope. Truly, it never had that property in my time. Ah, Elita is having a little fun, I think. What we mean is, Electro can project a false appearance. In which case, it shouldn't be too hard to disable. Another door! I've managed to deactivate the projection, but the lock's another story. Didn't that note lay out the password protocol? I say we go ahead and try it. I agree. 2 people should prepare the lab terminals for input, while the rest of us look for passwords here in the office. I'll take the proto lab. Then I'll take the Draconia lab. Actually, it might be better if you stayed, Sabine. Your knowledge of Alexandria and his people could be needed here. Yes, you're right. If passwords are hiding behind clues, it may be something I can help with. I can help too. I've lived my whole life in Alexandria after all. I will take the Draconia lab duty then. We can keep in touch via communicator to match our timing. Elita, you shall have the honour of entering the office password. Once we've determined what we need to input, take your place at this terminal. I'll stand by to guide Wuklomat and Kryl through the process. You know, there was that display plate over there, the one with the gems. I thought since it was made of electrope it might have some other purpose, but I couldn't find switches or buttons to make it do anything. Maybe you can figure it out. Sapphire, Ruby, Emerald. You have yet to discover enough clues to deduce passwords. Try exploring the immediate area or conferring with your comrades until you have more information. Emerald. Ruby. Sapphire. I kept searching the drawers with the books and found a cube puzzle made of electrope. It's probably just a toy, but maybe. You got it. Let's see. If I move this bit and connect that circuit to that one. There! Ah, there's something inside. Oh, it's a pretty green stone. I think it might be Alexandrite. Ah, it's Alexandrite, not emerald. They say these gems were treasured in the past, so they named the kingdom after them. Here, you should hold on to this one just in case. Someone must have hidden that Alexandrite in the puzzle. I'll see if there's any other interesting things I can find. Keep calm and everything will be fine. Both of you are quick studies. Ah yeah, because Alexandrite is the same shape as emeralds. A sizable green gem of scintillating beauty. I should take a closer look at these reports. One of them might have hints to the passwords. Let's see if I can find the other two. So I just press this And the next one is that, right? Hey, this isn't so hard. And the other friend should be in the Draconia lab, which is here. Understood, Shell. But first I need to find a stool or may have a sturdy box. I'm pretty sure the other two are ruby and a sapphire. You have located Director Demetrius' personal data tablet in locker space. Take another look. Oh. Look at the jewel display plate. Oh, it's garnet. Sapphire and garnet. Two jewels are embedded in this electrode plate. You identify the blue gem as a sapphire and the red gem as a garnet. There also appears to be an empty slot for another jewel to fill. It looks like I was right on the money there. The gemstone fits snugly into place. Almost immediately afterwards, the glowing lines of a diagram appear on the display, accompanied by a short phrase. Could this represent a floor plan of this complex? As you continue studying the display, you realize that these shapes correspond to the rooms of the complex in which you now stand. This may be related to the password you were looking for. The slot contains a sapphire. Its place on the floor corresponds to the proto-lab. The slot contains a garnet. Its place on the floor corresponds to the Draconia lab. The glowing words appear to be handwritten. Yes, I knew that jewel would come in handy. Let me see. Heed the stones. This must be about special meanings Alexandrians have for gems. It's an old belief, I think, where each gem means something different. I bet if you asked Sabine, she could tell you more about it. After all, even her name comes from a gemstone. The slot contains an alexandrite. Its place in the floor plan corresponds to the director's office. Yes, if you have questions, you need only ask. Symbolism of alexandrite. Well, I was taught that alexandrite represents the concept of protection. It is incidentally also the origin of Alexandria's name. Oh, are you thinking this might be something to do with the passwords? A sapphire and a garnet as well, you say? Yes, they all have meanings. Alexandrite, as I said, is protection. Sapphire represents honesty. and garnet symbolizes devotion. We should try these words at the terminals and see if they're accepted. I certainly hope we're right. One more time to be sure. Alexandrite represents protection, sapphire honesty, and garnet devotion. You've gathered enough information to attempt entering the passwords. We're all set to go here. Wuklemat and Kryl are just waiting on their passwords. Let's start with Wuklemat in the Protolab. What word should she enter? Try the gemstones first. I know it's going to be the other ones, but... And the password for Kryl in the Dawntrail Lab? And lastly, what will you input for the director's office? Right, we have all 3 passwords ready. Now to enter them into the system at the same time. It's returning an error. I believe your deductions were sound based on the information available, but perhaps we choose the wrong passwords or jumbled the order. Let me run the diagnostic and identify where the problem is. Protolab error, Dawntrail Lab error, Director's Office error. Ah, there we have it. Shall we try again? Right, we have all 3 passwords ready. Now to enter them into the system at the same time. Yes! Oh, I'm so glad that worked. That secure room is the only place we've yet to search. If the data relay is anywhere, it has to be there. We'll venture in as soon as Wuklemat and Kryl rejoin us. Oh, that went well. Excellent clue finding, Elita. Speaking of gemstone symbology, for Alexandrians, Sphene holds the meaning of eternal light. When my parents named me, it was their wish that I become an unwavering beacon of hope for our people. To think on it now, I have ever shared that destiny with my other self. Great work, Elita. Leave it to you to divine passwords from an ornamental display. We did it thanks to you, and a little bit thanks to me, I hope. Alright everyone, time to board the lift and see what awaits us. Through we go.
This terminal doesn't look special to me, but this is definitely what we're after?
It is, but whether or not it will suffice for our purposes is another question.
QR code!
The Endless are created using the memories of the deceased. But as memories are, in essence, collections of data, the resultant entities have no physical form. These data entities, as we might call them, have only two methods for interacting with the material world. One of these we saw in living memory, where the Endless are granted temporary bodies through the use of corporeal ether. They become much like solid ghosts that one can see and touch.
That explains a lot.
The other method, which Kafkiwa employed, is the remote operation of a machine. But where do you suppose the Endless are to be found when not inhabiting a physical body?
The Endless are memories, and if memories are data, then...
Inside Electrop somewhere? After all, Electrop has many uses.
Yes, we suspect they reside in a virtual domain, one contained entirely within an electrope-based machine. We've seen such a realm before, after all.
Oh, you mean like the Alexandria made from the Endless Fiend's memories? It all seems so real.
So this virtual domain, it would also be housed within the Meso terminal.
But how? I thought we shut down all the terminals in living memory.
You did, and Kafkiwa's program performed just as she intended. The Meso terminal itself was deactivated, as evidenced by the failure of the device which was keeping Spheen's body in stasis. Be that as it may, we face a master of electrope engineering. That he managed to partition and protect a sector harboring his own memories is well within the bounds of possibility.
Let us say that the Meso terminal does indeed contain a second domain, and that Calyx himself resides there. This city, on the other hand, exists here in the source. That being the case, I thought perhaps we could prevent his remote interference by closing the gate to the Golden City, and thus severing the connection between worlds.
Except I tried to close it once already when I visited living memory. The process required administrative authorization, a restriction I assumed at the time had been imposed by the Queen.
But now you think Calyx might be responsible.
Just as I suspected. Even now, security transmissions from throughout the Keep are being tapped by the core system and routed elsewhere. Almost every single one has you as its focus. He's keeping track of the keyholder's movements.
Time's up, and what a waste of time it's been. Hoping to find me by tracing security data? That will not be necessary. Through a not inconsiderable effort, I've taken your measure and prepared a force sufficient to subdue you. Come. I invite you to the upper reaches of the Meso Terminal. The storage device which holds my memories is there. Break the memory bank and victory is yours. I, in turn, will seek to wrest the key from you with any and every means at my disposal.
And if we refuse this invitation?
I will wait and continue to convert Alexandrians into Endless. Consider the urgency of the situation and make the wiser choice.
Answer me one question, Calyx. The Endless Fiend. When she was queen, you had her face an impossible task, then manipulated her into using the key when she was at her most desperate. If you can do all that, then why not whisk it away when her plans went to ruin? Why let it fall into our hands?
You pour salt in the wound. That disaster was a miscalculation on my part. As her end drew near, Sphene and her restructured memories had become one with the terminal's control systems. In that singular place, in that singular moment, she wielded an authority greater than mine. Thus she was able to shield you, the neighboring sovereign to whom she entrusted her nation's future, and the hero to whom she entrusted that priceless key. I am unsure to what degree she perceived my presence, but she knew that someone was watching. Does that satisfy your curiosity?
It does. And I'm satisfied that you will take nothing more from this nation. Not one more life, not one more future, not one single smile from another child's face. You hear me? Sorry for losing my temper, but there's only one way we can deal with people like Calyx. Whatever grand future he envisions, someone will be made to pay the price. And I won't let that happen.
He's wrong if he thinks he's taken our measure.
If I may, I realize it is not my place to say this. Even so, I must thank you both.
God, I want to give her a big hug.
On behalf of my other self, allow me to say how grateful I am to have you as our champions.
Phew. Well, that was an adventure. It may not have been by the method Shale was hoping for, but at least now we know where to find Calyx, and what we need to do next. Indeed. While I remain curious about Preservation's research into the key, that is an investigation for another day. Then let's head straight to the back room. We should get everyone on the same page before we make our move. It's time to put an end to this. Calyx won't stop until we stop him. The situation isn't the best out there, but at least you've come back to us safe and sound. It was my other self who entrusted you with the key. Though she could not change who she was, the consequences of her final choice linger, empowering us to shape our own future. I've passed on the short version of our events to our comrades, so that we can all prepare for the challenge ahead. Shale has been out of sorts ever since we got back. I don't think she liked what Calyx said, but don't worry, I'll do my best to cheer her up. Don't ye be letting up now, you hear? Let your passion carry you to the bitter end. Damn that bastard Calyx. He waited until I was this close before snatching away my moment of triumph. And that infuriating, condescending way he spoke to us, well, we'll see those whose time is up, you smug little weasel. Anyway, I know things didn't go to plan, but we learned a great deal about preservation. That knowledge could come in handy in the days to come. Though I may not be able to contribute to a direct confrontation, I mean to see this through with you all, providing whatever support I can. It's a shame that punching an endless does no damage. I'd love to rearrange that serene face of his. One of our own, Sphene is resolved to take part in the coming battle. Elita, we've briefed Ehrenfeld on everything that has happened and sent word to the others. But we've now to consider what our next actions will be. Calyx has offered you the opportunity to confront him directly. And though it feels much like striding face first into an ambush, we have little choice. If we are to destroy the memories he supposedly stored in the upper reaches of the Mesoterminal, then that is where we must go. While I'm still upset at being deprived of my moment, I nevertheless did my due diligence. I can confirm that the relay we found was indeed transmitting surveillance data to a device somewhere in living memory. When you go to fight Calyx, pray, let me fight alongside you. Let me fight for the memory of Otis and Zelenia, and for the other Sphene I may have become. But most importantly, for my beloved kingdom and a joyful tomorrow. It has always been your fight as much of ours, if not more. Thank you for understanding what this means to me. I'll be coming with you as well. You know my reasons. It hardly needs saying, but your fellow Scions also have every intention of accompanying you into battle. So adamant were Alize and the others on this point, that they have already left for a living memory. I am more than ready to do the same. I'll keep patrolling the streets for signs of trouble, especially from anyone wearing neo-regulators. Should you need anything from me, I'll be on standby here in the back room. I really want to go with you too, but I know I can't. I know that sometimes you have to be patient and trust in your friends. Oh, Elita! Cryo and I think that we should talk to Gosan before we leave for living memory. Under Calix's direction, preservation has helped shape Alexandria's society for centuries. Taking him down will have serious consequences, and we need to warn the officials in charge about what we intend. Justifications aside, we shall be acting against the wishes of all who desire to become endless. Exactly. We don't know if Gosan will approve or oppose our chosen course, but either way, leaving without a word is the wrong thing to do. Come, we should be on our way. Resolution first, Tess? Be safe, everyone. We'll see you when it's over. Meow, 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 meow. I'll do whatever I can to help Shale and Arendelle. It may not be much, but small things add up when you do enough of them. As I said, I'll be ready and waiting, if and when you have need of me. Just make sure you come back in one piece. Even if people from my village have taken to wearing neo-regulators, I can only hope it doesn't end badly. Don't you be letting up now, you hear? Let your passion carry you to the bitter end. We are getting to the end of the story. I see Gosan's wearing a neo-regulator. He'll have some thoughts to switch here on the subject, I'll wager. Government officials must be fielding demands from all quarters. I do not envy Gosan his position. The air is thick with a sense of unease, not least around Gosan himself.
I see. A difficult situation. In the absence of an official sovereign, I agree that it is not preservation's place to dictate the future of our nation. However, I also cannot simply take a side and declare my support for your efforts to defeat Calix.
Is that because of the new regulator you wear?
I've yet to register it. I find myself caught between the fear of dying and the desire to carry out the duties of governance. My greatest concern is how we shall stem this ever-increasing terror of mortality when becoming endless is no longer an option. And that's to say nothing of the recent slaughter committed by our own soldiers. The fact that such violence was perpetrated for the very purpose of creating endless will, paradoxically, make it more difficult to endorse your chosen course. It may not seem logical, but for those who lost friends and family in the attacks, halting the creation process altogether would render the deaths of their loved ones utterly meaningless. Is it not cruel to rob them of what little solace they could claim, when we have only just learned what it is to mourn? Tell me, how are we meant to overcome such tragedies?
We stop begging others to teach us, for a start. For the longest time, we've been protected by Queen Sphene and the systems put in place by our forebears. The hardships and responsibilities of life were distant things, and we felt entitled to our comforts, even as we barely noticed those who risked everything to keep us sheltered. But no more. From now on, we need to learn on our own. How to live with the promise of death. How to endure the pain of loss. We may never learn to love such things, but we may learn to survive them. The people beyond the barrier, even the Alexandrians of old, they've all had to live with these fears. There's no reason we can't do it too.
What are you all doing here?
Malachite called us in, and the Oblivion members briefed us on the current crisis. You don't stand idly by while your house burns down. We came together and thought about how we could help. Long story short, we've decided to join the fight alongside Oblivion. I say fight, but we're well aware of how little use we'd be in actual combat.
A battle of ideas, on the other hand. Now that we might be qualified to do something about. We'll talk to our neighbors and do our best to quell their fears. Convince them to make the most of this life and enjoy all it has to offer. Perhaps that will help to ease your burden.
It certainly will. Even if a few are assuaged by your words, it will make things easier.
Those who have already registered will be difficult to sway, but there are still many who waver. Those are the ones we'll concentrate on.
Gossen, if you truly care for the people of Alexandria, then now's the time to start thinking of ways to prevent more deaths.
Were I to become endless at the expense of my countrymen's lives, I would regret it for the rest of my existence. Forgive my weakness. When the people have lost their way, it falls to the government to support and guide them. Alexandria can rise above this sorrow and find its way forward once more. Is that not so, Your Majesty?
Indeed it is. No, that wasn't... what I meant to say was...
Calm down, Sphene.
Amity, you used her name.
The perfect resemblance to our beloved Queen Sphene has not escaped our notice. Yet we also understand that you are not her. Having to live in secret, unable to share who you really are. That must have been hard on you. When you come back, please tell us all about yourself. I imagine yours is a rather outlandish story, but we're eager to hear it all the same. You're one of us, an Alexandrian, and we don't abandon our own.
I promise to return. And when I do, I look forward to speaking with you all.
Sphene must have been overjoyed to be welcomed by her countrymen. For their sakes, we need to bring her back safely. It's a relief to be freed from my indecision. Until I had removed my regulator, I hadn't realized how heavy it weighed upon me. I'm glad we were able to hear the will of the Alexandria people. Now it falls on us to see the rest of it through. I need a tissue after that. Oh, I'm crying. I swear, I'm gonna run out of tears at this rate. Everyone was so warm and welcoming. Alexandrians are, as ever, a stalwart people. How glad I am to be home. Thank you, Gosan. That decision must have been difficult to make. If only I could claim the courage to do the same from within. The final push came from Alexandria's citizens and their bravery in taking the first step towards change. Speaking of which, can I ask you to lock that neo-regulator away where no one can get to it? That should prevent the registrations from reaching the target number. I should be glad to do so, but I fear it would be to no avail. According to our most recent surveys, the number of neo-regulators in circulation exceeds the stated 5,000. I surmise the surplus units are to account for those like myself who have had a change of heart, or are otherwise hesitant to register. Ah, that does sound like something Calyx would do. Well, we'll have to face him either way, so no point delaying the inevitable. On to live in memory. Where are you going, Arabelle?
Things seem much the same.
So listen, you have nothing more to fear than any other normal day. Deep breaths. We'll get through this.
You'd be telling them much the same if you were here. I suppose it falls to me now.
Oh. Damn it. That made me tear up seeing the little casket out in his bag. Hello, remember me? The hunter from the Thunder Yards. It's been a while. But we met when you first arrived in the dome. We've been talking with Lathander and the others, and thanks to some very convincing arguments, we've come around to the idea that we need to start taking responsibility for the future of our nation. There are those like us who rely on regulators for their work, and others who aren't quite ready to give up what they have. But we all share a desire to make things better. Coming here reminds me of my parents, of the courage they gave me. It is good to rejoin you all. I need to step away briefly that I might make arrangements for a certain precautionary measure. We've all been so busy, it seems like an age since we gathered in such a manner. I must say, we do make for a formidable group. Seems Alfino and Alize were the ones to explain to Koana our need to enter the cenote. He urged us to be extremely careful, of course. I had scarcely awakened here when I fell unconscious. Now that I can fully enjoy the gentle silence of this place, it brings tears to my eyes. Last time I had to wait in the cenote, but there's nothing to stop me from joining this fight. It is good to see our comrades hail in girds for battle. As for us, we've been ahead to inspect the lay of the land. There were no changes of note aside from the meso-terminal itself. Why, what's happened to the meso-terminal? The wall has receded to provide a convenient entrance into the structure's interior. There was no such ingress when last we were here, so I must assume that Calyx has since manipulated the terminal's electrope. All to facilitate his most gracious invitation to the upper levels. An invitation I am eager to accept. For the sake of all who love Alexandria, I will not yield, nor leave them to despair. A terminal invitation. Ishtola would proceed to the meso-terminal. I believe everyone determined to be here is present and accounted for. Shall we make our way to the terminal? We wouldn't wish to keep our insistent host waiting. Okay, the bridge is fake. The bridge is fake. An endless existence for the evolution of mankind. I understand what he strives for, but not what drives him to do so with such ruthlessness. It hadn't occurred to me that one might physically enter the terminal, although I suppose it makes sense when you think about it. A structure for creating endless would have required maintenance administered by corporeal hands. When we shut down all the minor terminals, we watched as the endless faded away. I do not believe that was a performance staged to deceive us. As for the meso-terminal, however, it had already grown dark by the time we returned from the virtual domain. While I am loath to admit it, 'tis possible its true appearance was hidden from us in our absence, which is why we must bring this tale to its denouncement by our own hand. So this is where the former Queen's memories were stored, and she herself tried to erase them. Even as an endless, her resolve was so strong, she would kill her heart to become the cold machine she believed she needed to be. Living memory is steeped in the dense lightning ether of the ninth. This pervasive energy must be what the terminal utilizes as a power source. I remember a little of my awakening. The paralysis yet lingered, and my eyes could barely focus. Well, here we are again, facing another battle to decide Alexandria's fate. For 4 centuries I slept here. Upon awakening, I found the world as I knew it had changed. I was so frightened at first. I couldn't recognize a single thing, and thought everything I loved had gone to dust. Yet beneath the unfamiliar surface, much remained the same. For that, I give thanks to Otis and Zelenia, and their royal knights, who lay their lives on the line to defend our very way of life. I think every Alexandrian who believed in our future and passed on our legacy. I thank my other self, who so loved this kingdom of ours. And I thank you all for kindling this hope in my heart, this courage to take up arms and fight once more. So let us make our stand together, and fight for what we hold dear. The kind and gentle Queen Sphene was too weak to serve her people, and so she will serve them no more. Freed from conscience, I shall become a ruler that can protect Alexandria, a devourer of worlds. We will rise to the challenge that the Endless Sphene could not. That we shall. Her wish to see Alexandria endure is one I am happy to fulfill. Let's head inside and finish this. In the upper reaches of this terminal awaits a device which holds Calix's memories. It falls on us to make the climb and destroy it once and for all. Aye, we must bring matters to a definitive end. We will not suffer him to cause Alexandria further harm, nor claim the key. The Queen entrusted it to Elita for a good reason, and besides, it would be a tragedy indeed to relinquish a relic with so much research potential. Apparently, Calix thinks he's taking your measure. I urge you to correct that misguided assumption. I wholeheartedly concur, yet would still counsel caution that he would be so bold as to extend us an invitation that bespeaks tremendous confidence in his preparations. Come, friends, we set forth into the midst of dreaming endless. Here we go, here we go, here we go! We have no idea what Calix may have planned for us. Alicia and I have prepared for every eventuality, yet still. Nay, you must be free to lead a charge unhindered by doubt. As you press onwards, we shall guard the flanks. If my parents were indeed executed by preservation, for me this will not only be a fight for the greater good, this will be justice. If I'm to add an addendum to Grandfather's account of the Golden City, then let it be a rousing good one, eh? It is beyond knowing how Calix had advanced his plans for endless conversation for the past 400 years. I do know, however, that pursuing an objective for lengthy spans requires an unyielding will, especially when that objective entails changing the world as we know it. Calix is a foe possessed of both considerable focus and resolve. We would do well to recognize him as such. As the vow of resolve, even just as a comrade, I see myself making a lot of promises. I mean to honor every last one of them, starting with the oath I swore to the Endless Sphene. Even if it's just a memory, I want to think of her smiling at the promise kept. I really do think you take on too much from too many people. And yet, it's never the wrong choice. The Queen gave you the key for a reason, so I'll be damned if I let Calyx steal it. Calyx's scheme to forfeit flesh to gain immortality calls to mind the Ea. Not that informing him of their fate would do much to dissuade him. Convinced though you may be of the truth, it is yours and not mine, and no conclusion of yours, no matter how grim, can dampen my desire. Such was my reply to the Ea's warnings, so I know a little something of refusing to listen, save when confronted with the incontrovertible proof of my error. The Alexandria of today has seen countless lives come and go. My other self took their grief and fear and rage upon herself in service to our kingdom. Around me are gathered those willing to give their all to the promise they made to her. How can I do any less? Alexandrians must be free to believe that more than sadness awaits them, that tomorrow can be better than today. Zoomancer.
I'll begin by wearing you down.
So this is what it looks like on the inside. This is a different floor to where I was in stasis. Let us nom some food. Here we go. What is preservation's purpose? The answer to a question is simple: to ensure the survival of mankind. In a world beset by lightning aspect is imbalance. This means securing a place where people may live in safety, as well as establishing a treatment for the living sickness which plagues us. Many approaches were considered, but in the end it was a child, a youth of undeniable genius, who discovered the most brilliant and complete solution to all the challenges we now face. I'm getting way too distracted by everything. Ooh, this tune is weird.
I've created new Endless for you. Not all are warriors, but they will follow orders. Kill and survive and so forth.
Did these mean new
I shall
Endless?
prepare the stage for battle.
This is the Alexandria of night time. Everything just changed. Has it changed outside as well? No, just on the inside. Interesting. I don't want to die. I don't want to die. Come on, friends. What is this grumpy chewing? As you have no charges, you have to go through me.
The memories of a physician. One who saves lives should be reluctant to die.
He was forced a healer to fight us. I will protect my patients. so second set is not real.
Oh, you've overburdened the system. No matter. It served its purpose.
No people. Maybe just pass a terminal like that already. According to Master Calyx, it's not the body which provides life to a living being, but the soul. Furthermore, it is the memories etched within it which encapsulates one's true self. Based upon these principles, he has proposed a methodology for preserving souls using electro-technology. As souls are composed entirely of ether, he asserts that storage via contemporary means should be eminently possible. Experiments conducted on criminal subjects and volunteers have in fact already proven successful in capturing the ether released at the moment of death. Mankind, as we know it, has taken a great leap forward.
Next, we visit a prison of sinister repute. I need not compel them to fight.
Another reminder of Alexandria. He's changing things again. We're in a dungeon now. A dungeon in a dungeon? Dungeonception. Ooh, what's that? Oh, I think that was meant to be the locking mechanism. like exercise. Oh, new cellmates, is it? Hey, buddy. You'll make a fine example. Get in! Okay.
These are loyal executioners. They shall deal appropriately with criminals.
Big lads, and there are 4 of them.
Your sentence is death. How long can you defy it? Criminals may run, but they cannot escape.
Ooh! This is cool.
Beginning to tire? Good. I bid you continue on.
Memories are not tools to be exploited. You can't allow this to continue. That was such a cool fight. Ah! Good again. again. I think that's where we started, way over there. So we've gone all the way up here. We had succeeded in transferring a soul stored within a specialized electrode device into a mechanical soldier, resulting in full control and function. No longer need we fear the erosion which lightning energies inflict upon flesh and blood bodies. Yet despite this crucial breakthrough, Master Calix remains unsatisfied. He would divorce memory from soul, siphoning the soul's ether reserves, whilst granting eternal life to the individual's memories. Unfettered to a soul, memories can not only be stored but also backed up as data. The Endless will be beings of pure information. His foreshortened lifespan was, perhaps, the very perspective needed to conceive such a unique evolutionary path. Starting point down there. Oh my god, we've almost gone full circle!
Memories from an age rife with death. The desperation will serve well.
On your guard, everyone.
The enemy is at the gate. To arms, good soldiers, protect your kingdom.
No, I cannot stop here. This looks like going into the town. Oh. The lightning in the sky. This must be like during the lightning strikes. The lightning made her sickness. I'll not die here. I could fight better. Please keep me safe. Please keep me safe. And this is like a little tavern of sorts. Faceless people. for my family. With faith and steel. We're nearing the top by now.
Very well. If one by one they fall, I'll send them all as one. Recall the anguish you felt when you faced death, and rise. Rise to defend your nation, your people, and your loved ones. Rise and meet the foe before you.
What in the actual heck are we fighting now? The immortal remains. Background, there's like little memory shards. Here goes.
An amalgam of memories. Let us see how it fares.
Stop us, haven't we suffered enough?
It is the midst of the storm surge. Countless lives are lost in the senseless conflict. The war swells in scope and intensity.
Try this!
I don't want to die. Here it comes.
The bombs rain down without pause or mercy. The spark of life is dimmed with every blinding flash. Death is everywhere, pillaging the promise of the future.
that was a cool fight. He's using the endless like pawns. My countrymen, our memories. Will carry me onward. As hard as this is, we must push on. You Calyx. Memories of fear and terror. We'll see this to the end. An unconscionable act.
Sphene? The Endless he sent against us. They were from the time of the storm surge, before I was placed into stasis.
As far as we know, the only sector to escape the shutdown was the one containing Calyx's memories. Assuming a chronological system, every other memory stored in that sector would belong to people who lived around the same period in history as he did.
Calyx, how long have you pursued this madness?
We seem to have exhausted his defenses for the moment. I say we take advantage of this lull to press on.
Calyx!
Well done. I commend your perseverance. The entirety of my memories are stored within this device. In the early stages of Endless creation, we established several core tenets. One is a prohibition on memory duplication. Despite the inherent risks, I agree and abide by this. Memories are the essence of the self and should not be diluted. We each have our goals. You seek to destroy your target. I seek to reclaim the key. Shall we forego the posturing and begin?
That we are here to fight, and I do not mean to lose. Yet, as one born of the same era, I must ask. Why do you pursue your evolution with such fervor? What do you hope to achieve with this eternal existence?
Your question is meaningless. I have ascertained a superior path to mankind's preservation, and that which must be done is that which I can do. What other reason do I require? Surely you have seen it. Traditional survival strategies are at odds with an increasingly complex society, leading to a breakdown of order. This course promises no liberation from pointless conflicts or inane tragedies. Physical traits do not represent the limit of our potential. Why then should we relinquish that potential when our hearts cease to beat? I realized it was past time that we corrected our heading. Nothing more.
Even then, you were always so single-minded. I too have a vision for the future, and your plan is not a part of it. I won't let you harm another Alexandrian.
Then fight we must. Thankfully, the entity I now summon will make short work of you and your comrades.
A summoning.
Oh?
What now? What was that? A chill. Oh, something else. I feel so cold. So weak.
Across Alexandria, a certain emotion is taking hold. The fear of death. Terror for the eternal darkness that will, without fail, engulf the lives of every living thing. Allow me to introduce it to you.
I got it! I got one! $4,999! That's how many people he said they were up to! I made it just in time. Now to register. Death can't touch me now. I'm free of all that crushing fear. Forever.
Congratulations to all who have acquired a Neo-Regulator. We have reached our total of 5,000 registered users. The day of deliverance you were promised will soon be upon us.
Oh, give it back! I don't want to die. I don't want to die. You think that's what I want? Huh?
Remember now. Remember your fear of dying. That terror will carry you across the threshold. Make of you an endless. Your prayers will birth a miracle which commands death itself.
What in the...
What's going on?
Securing the requisite ether is simple. I need only reroute lightning energy from living memory. Then I encourage the populace to define its form through hope and thought and prayer. Such an abstract method, however, is rife with unpredictable elements. What I wanted was an entity that could defeat you with utmost certainty. To that end, I set strict parameters for a concept of my own design. It was a laborious task, one that required almost more time than I had, but I managed it in the end. And now, everything is in readiness. I bid you, come forth.
What is that?
A primal summoning, and one defined by a concept, no less. How did he learn such techniques? Keep these close.
That is a false day.
Do you still mean to stand against me?
I mean to win. The key will never be yours.
That remains to be seen. Abundance of lightning could indeed obviate the need for crystals. I should like to know whence Calyx came by this summoning knowledge. I don't care if that thing is awake in nightmare. Let's send it back into the darkness, Elita. As I feared, I was right to bring some spare wielding skills. Against the threat of a primal, we must take advantage of every warrior we can field.
feeling visual alone in my threads went cold, like I was halfway to becoming a corpse. So, to the primal which embodies the concept of death and all its terror, he has made manifest a most troublesome foe. It all finally makes sense. Those mechanical rampages were not orchestrated solely for the purpose of parasitic ether. They were intended to heighten the collective fear of death, but the primal manifested by the people's terror would be that much more powerful. What is he saying? That the fears of everyone in Alexandria gave birth to this? This horror?
Those who obstruct evolution shall suffer the rotting fate of all flesh.
Like some crazy coliseum. Right. Oh, I've got 2 stacks of something. What's that? Burning the bat, sustaining most damage that would receive here. Will ignite the will to live. Okay, let's try and not use these.
You are bound by the limits of flesh. It will betray you.
I'm here with you.
Drag them to their graves. There. Do you not see? Death is upon you. Perhaps this. Kill them. For the sun.
Oh! Did the opposite that time.
Fear compounds fear, eroding your strength. Reduce you to ether. You will die for me now.
Hold still.
Accepting death is the greatest sin a life can commit. The endless darkness engulfs. Still alive, but there are ways to change that. There. Those who do not resist death deserve it. For you.
Hold still.
Kill them. Fight, if you must.
Hold still.
There. You struggle in vain. Once the terror takes root, it will only continue to grow. Kill them. Fear compounds fear, eroding your strength. I will reduce you to ether. Those who do not resist death deserve it. I am prepared for you. Kill them.
Holy moly. Now's our chance. Galax has nothing left to throw at us. A primal of all things. Something doesn't feel right. We did it. We've beaten you, Galax. Is that truly the end of it? God, sea of hands. Oh! Oh! That sound effect. Yeah, oh, what's the weather condition here? Dying breath, okay.
Is it over?
Now, the memory bank.
It's shielded.
I invited you to destroy it. I did not say I would let you. It is clear your strength cannot be gauged by ordinary means. But I anticipated as much.
What did you do to it?
The ignorance is almost laughable. You do not understand that you yourselves are to blame. You brought death to my creation. What do you suppose happens when a being manifested by the fear of dying experiences that terror firsthand? It grows stronger.
That same weakness.
It will rise again and again until the lightning which infuses this entire world has been drained to its last spark. You fight a losing battle.
God damn you.
Harnessed in this manner, does it not demonstrate just how powerful mankind's aversion to death truly is? You will not prevail against this foe. I, meanwhile, will continue my crusade against mortality. So long as our memories endure, we may live on. That is the promise I offer.
So long as our memories endure. This is wrong, Alex. You twist the meaning of those words. They are not meant to teach the living that physical death is nothing to fear. They are meant to offer comfort to those we leave behind. I know that litany all too well. I heard it time and time again over the course of the war. Help me, Shale. I must speak to Alexandria. Make my voice heard.
Melodies of life?
Nahe, don't you recognize me? Nahe!
What's happening? What's wrong with them? What will become of us?
Fellow Alexandrians, please, heed my words.
What now? Another broadcast? I know that voice.
Death can be frightening and terrible. I understand the desire to forget, to seek eternal life and be freed from fear. Yet, we live in this world in the here and now. The bearers of memories varied and rich. Our worries can weigh heavy, and there may be nights when the darkness feels like more than we can bear. But if we can endure those dark hours, the world will always brighten come the dawn. And in the chill of that new morning, will the memories of loved ones be there to warm us and carry us forward? So do not forget their passing. Let them be our courage. Fear not a life well lived. For one day, the memories we leave behind will be the warmth another needs when their morning finds them.
What is this reaction? An irregular factor in the equation. Eliminate her.
I won't let you.
Memories cannot be duplicated, but they can be transferred.
Leave the primal to us. Hurry and take care of that memory bank.
Gave her my word! I promised I would protect her people!
And we will protect them! Together!
be others.
Let's get you all healed up, Missy.
Careful. You're badly hurt. You'd be lucky if you only broke a bone or two. It won't be long until your fever rises. We need to see you back to Tuliolo and into the care of a chirurgeon.
You don't trust my healing magic, Galvano?
I kept my promise.
Oh.
Thank you, Lamati.
There's still more to do, but I need to stop there for now, because it is time for food. Take care. Love you all. Bye for now. We'll do the conclusion of this and the Alliance raid later on. Bye for now. Mwah!